In January 2021, it cost about $100 for a plot of land.
Okay.
By December 2021, it cost about $15,000 for a plot of land.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 10 of the Back Talk Show. Happy Wednesday. We're super excited about this episode because we will be diving into some new stuff. So what the Metaverse is, if you should be buying land in the Metaverse, because real estate in the real world is too expensive. So let's just dive in, man. Obviously, there's a lot happening in real estate right now. Prices are still high, like we talked about. So you want to tell them something right now?
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, first of all, first-time home buyers are having a severe struggle in this market, and then just for people, just average people, middle class incomes, right? So people who make between $75,000 to $100,000 a year, a lot of middle class citizens, right?
Yep.
There's only an inventory of about 250,000 homes that they could afford, and to compare it to something, pre-pandemic, those same group of people had about 656,000 homes that they could afford. So,
wow. All right. Sorry. I had to process that. But that basically cut in less than half. Or more than half.
More than half, man. There's way less homes for you to choose from, is in other words.
Right. So if I think about this, right, now I have to compete against 65 other people to actually buy the home that I want. Whereas back, 2019, pre-pandemic, it was about 24, 25 homes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So when you think about it, competition is obviously on the rise.
Yeah.
And even the prices that we spoke about, they're only going higher because of supply and demand at the end of the day. So we found this pretty cool graph on Zillow, which is showing you that as of the summer 2020, home prices have gone up $75,000.
That's a lot, bro.
Right. But think about it. Why is it going up though? Because if you just think about it very rationally, there's a home shortage, but the demand, so supply low, demand is very high. Everyone wants to get involved in real estate. That's why you're watching the video right now, because you want to get involved in real estate.
For real. And remember that the interest rates was extremely low during the whole pandemic situation. And then also remember that everybody had more money,
right, due
to all the COVID stimulus packages and PPP loans, everything that came with what the government did to bail us out of the COVID crash. So people have money, the demand is high, but the inventory is low. Perfect recipe for a crazy real estate market. That's
a fact. And speaking of inventory being low, we have another graph, the same thing from Zillow, which is basically showing how the inventory is decreasing, right? Just the graph literally shows you everything you need to know right now. It's crazy. Yeah. We're on 4-year lows, correct?
Yes, bro. The number of U.S. homes fell to a 4-year low in January.
So
this January that just happened, bro.
Yeah, at the end of the day right now, real estate is very tough. If you're trying to get involved. If you are already involved, congrats, that's amazing. But for people who are looking to get started in it, it's very tough.
Yeah, extremely.
And now let's talk about what other cities are looking like. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who think that they could move from whatever they're in right now. Like say we're in New York, right? We're thinking, hey, let's just go to a different state. Let's check out South Florida. Let's see if it's expensive or not. And we're like, oh no, it's cheap. We could go live down there. Yeah. You actually can't live down there anymore because there's a lot happening in Miami right now. We're not talking about the party scene. We're not talking about that.
Right.
So I think there's something we gotta do before we talk about this, because you've been boxing a lot.
I have been boxing a lot.
You've been lifting a lot.
I have been lifting a lot.
And I know I'm scared of you, so I can't even imagine what they're doing. You always beat me up, but at the end of the day, man, if you don't like this video or comment or subscribe or hit that notification bell, he will beat you up.
I didn't even want to take it there, but you know what? Now that you say that.
No, but for real, please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell, because we do drop how many videos? 2
videos a week.
Exactly. So you already know the deal. But let's just continue about this, right? So this article is showing that Miami is now the least affordable housing market in the country.
Hold on. Miami is the least affordable?
Yes, the least affordable. Man. It's worse than New York. New York City, I should say, right? Because there's upstate New York and stuff, which doesn't count as New York. But there's also San Francisco, which people think is super expensive. No, Miami took it over. Yeah. At the end of the day right now, South Florida, your average salary is about $43,000, okay? But the actual medium home that you're buying is north of $550,000.
That's crazy.
So just think about that, which basically equates to 78% of your income is going towards a home or rent.
Wow. Yeah, and actually that's what overtook New York City.
Exactly.
New York City is about 77%. So we finally not on top. It's lit.
I don't know if we want to win this list or not. Like, I'm fine with losing this one. I'm okay. Like, I'm perfectly cool with this. But just think about that, because that's obviously a big deal. You know, real estate is going up, and clearly it's going up in Miami.
It's going up in Miami, and then it relates directly to the rents that's going on, because obviously if real estate is going up, the rents have to match that.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what's going on. The country's rents have increased by 14% through the end of 2021.
Yeah, I know I'm seeing an impact on that for sure, because at the end of the day, if home prices go up, mortgages go up, people who are landlords, they're not going to charge you a less rent, because, hey, you know what? I'm paying more. I want you to pay less because I'm a really, really nice guy.
It's not happening.
You know, that's not a thing.
Yeah, rent is the highest that it's been in 2 years, man. 2 years.
So now let's talk about what you guys really are here for. So we already tackled the real world. That was important for you guys to understand. So we know in the real world, real estate is expensive. Should you be looking into the metaverse to buy your property?
Metaverse.
Exactly. But what is the metaverse? We need to tackle that first. So, Rel, take it over. What is the metaverse?
The metaverse, in the most simple way of putting it, the metaverse is a virtual world. That's my most simple way of putting it. Everything you see in the physical world, they are trying to replicate in the virtual world.
Exactly.
So you will have an avatar. And I know it seems like a video game, but I mean, it's been happening in video games.
I was going to say, like Fortnite and The Sims. I think we might have just shown how old we are because we're talking about The Sims. But like Sims and Fortnite, that is what we want you to imagine when you think about the metaverse.
Yeah, Roblox, all these things.
Exactly.
Right?
It's just 3D world. 3D virtual world that you have an avatar that's walking around.
Yeah, the avatar's walking around, and the thing that makes the metaverse special, because people are saying, why would I play that? That's for kids. Like, I know because we teach financial literacy at a high school.
Yep.
And our kids love talking about Roblox and all these things that they play, but it's like, that's not just for kids. Because the thing that you have to understand is, in the metaverse, you can make real money. That's the whole allure of it. So it's like, if your avatar can go to, for example, a virtual casino and actually play the games at the casino and make money, make real money that you could transact, that you could switch out and make it into US dollars.
Which is crazy, because as you're talking about real money, people are actually getting involved by real institutions, real people. And why would you want to get involved? So we always say, go where the money's going. Follow the rich. So when you think about it, one of the largest banks, if not the largest bank, honestly, is JP Morgan. And now when you think about it, JP Morgan just announced that they will be having a virtual lounge in the metaverse, which is pretty cool, because now what they're getting involved, it makes people think, yo, this is actually credible. Like, this is legit. So when you walk in, this is the picture that you see on screen right now. This tiger is what you see. And that little portrait that you see, that's a CEO. That's Jamie Dimon. Okay? So that's basically what you're going to be seeing when you walk into the JP Morgan virtual lounge.
Exactly. You know, and I know JP Morgan is on record saying, like, supply and demand dynamics are driving people into the meta economy. So over time, the market for metaverse real estate could evolve in a similar way as real estate in the analog world. So
okay. If I had to break that down, what I'm getting is, this is a reality. Like, we can't run away from this.
Can't run away from it. He's trying to say that, like, yo, this metaverse real estate is going to progress the same way real estate in the real world progressed.
Exactly.
Everybody's running for it.
Which makes sense, because people have to understand this. Okay, this might be still a little hard of a concept for you guys, and if it is, we're trying to like really simplify it. But just think about it very simple. Bitcoin is now a term that everyone mostly knows. It's becoming a household name. But back 3 years ago, when it was not a household name, or back 4 or 5 years ago when it was not a household name, people who understood it, people who did research on it, are very profitable right now because they got involved. To say the least, honestly. So people who understand the metaverse right now and are getting involved, they're going to be pretty happy with themselves, considering that it is being backed by the largest bank. And we're going to get into other companies that are huge that are backing up as well. But it's very important to just note that point.
Exactly. And you know, the way that the real estate will work is just like it works in the real world. You're going to have credit, mortgages, and rental agreements and everything that goes on. Like, just picture yourself, you buy a plot of land in the metaverse, and then you build on top of it. Okay, that building that you build can be rented out. So companies will come to you to rent it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a space for advertisements, like advertisements. Understand? It's a space where people will build places to make money. So when you own land, people will be coming to you. You can resell it.
Facts. And speaking of land, when you think about it, the two largest virtual worlds, okay, Decentraland and Sandbox, saw 86 virtual property transactions, which totaled up to $460 million.
They saw 86,000 virtual property transactions.
Yes. So when you just think about that, $460 million, that was real money. This is not fake money being done.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of money going into this.
Yeah, heck, bro. A lot of money is an understatement. I mean, you got to think about it like this, man. In both of those virtual worlds, in January 2021, it cost about $100 for a plot of land.
Okay.
By December 2021, it cost about $15,000 for a plot of land. What's the ROI on that?
Yeah, I'm not even doing that right now. I need to calculate it. But basically what I'm hearing is $100 in the beginning of the year and now $15,000 at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Because, we're not trying to sit here and say you're going to see these crazy gains on a regular basis. That's not always the case. Yeah. However, this is still new, and that's why it's happening. Because institutions like we just mentioned, like JP Morgan, are getting involved.
Yeah, and sales of property in the 6 most popular virtual worlds brought in $169 million through NFTs on OpenSeas. So it just showed you like there's so much money in this space. Think about getting involved.
So OpenSeas, for you guys who did not catch that, correct me if I'm wrong here, but that's basically a place that you go to buy the NFTs, correct?
Yeah, it's an NFT trading platform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make that clear. So now that we mentioned JP Morgan, and I said this earlier, there's other brands getting involved. So here's an article in front of you guys right now. Companies like Nike and Disney are hiring like crazy for the metaverse. So the largest shoe company, okay, and honestly, I would say Disney is the largest entertainment company we've ever seen when it comes down to it. Now they're hiring for the metaverse. So they're going into the metaverse. Can you imagine Mickey Mouse in the metaverse? How crazy of sales that would produce?
Yeah, bro, what? Of course.
Exactly.
Like, you got 3 choices. Either you become an investor, you become involved in the creation of these metaverses,
right,
or the sustaining of it, or you become a consumer. And how long do you want to be a consumer for?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. At the end of the day, you have to put yourself in a position where you could actually become an investor. Okay, and that's why you're watching the show right now. That's why you're watching this episode, because you want to know if you should be buying property. And we're basically making it pretty obvious that yes, you should be looking into it and thinking about if this makes sense for you or not. Because I think this is the cool part. So Nike, Gucci are getting involved, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong once again, a virtual Gucci bag was 20%. Was sold 20% more than a regular Gucci bag?
Yeah, like the virtual Gucci purse sold for 20% more than the physical Gucci purse.
That's just crazy to me.
That shows you like that people are really holding high value to these virtual items.
I'm about to be, crazy in the metaverse. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Balenciaga's is in the metaverse as well. Like for real, they already are involved. So I could be flying in real life. I'm gonna be flying in my virtual world.
Man, this is crazy. And to add on to all of this for you guys, okay, the man himself, the greatest, if not the greatest, okay, arguably the greatest, I should say, Warren Buffett himself, the investor, decided to actually get involved in the crypto space after talking a lot of smack about it about 3 years ago. Yeah. It's about damn time. I've been waiting. So he basically comes out and says, I will be rotating out of my stocks like MasterCard and Visa, and not just a regular rotation, okay? He will be taking out $1.8 billion and $1.3 billion out of MasterCard and Visa, right? And he's going to be putting $1 billion in a fintech company which is heavily invested in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's crazy if you think about it. It's showing you that, this is a thing.
Yeah, that bank, Neobank, is, like you said, very crypto friendly, Bitcoin friendly. So think about it. Somebody like him who bashed Bitcoin before, getting involved with a bank that's predicated on Bitcoin, come on, man. He's sold on it. He's here now. At
the end of the day, what that does for me, it provides me comfort. Because when I think about it, he's a very safe investor. Because if you look back at it, this article literally says it, Buffett on cryptocurrencies. I can say almost with certainty that they will come to a bad ending.
Wow, he said that in 2018.
Exactly. So when you think about this, he said it back then, which many people did not know about crypto back then. But if you invested, like we said, and you were early in the game, you would have made a lot of money. So now he's getting involved. Not saying he's late per se, but it shows that it's becoming legitimate.
Bro, a lot could change in 3 years. He said it in January 2018. It's February 2022.
Exactly.
And that's 4 years. What's up with me?
Yeah, that's true.
What's up with me? Hold on.
That's true.
That's 4 years. But nah, a lot could change in 4 years.
It's the lifting. That's the thing.
It's too much lifting.
That's the thing. But think about this. Obviously, we just talked about the largest brands, right? And this might not convince you just yet, and we're not trying to convince you. We're just trying to show you how Metaverse is becoming more and more legitimate. So we said Nike, we said Disney, we said Warren Buffett, we said JP Morgan.
And Gucci, Walmart, Balenciaga. Come on, all these things are preparing for the Metaverse.
Now, let's add on something else. So we're on the track of virtual reality. We're saying everything's going digital. So I believe last week we talked about China. And we said they're going to be having a digital currency. We said India. Yeah. We said Jamaica. We said a bunch of countries. So China and India have two of the largest populations, correct? And they're already going digital. Yeah. So what did the U.S. say? What did Mr. Biden say?
Mr. Biden is preparing an executive order this week. At the time of recording, he hasn't given it yet. But he wants everyone to, all his resources, to look into the U.S. having their own digital currency, which is a CBDC, a central bank digital currency. So he wants to have currency where like it's pegged to the dollar. So
exactly,
it's a crypto concept. It's just the fact that everything is moving digital.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, nothing is changing, right? It's still being regulated, okay? Yeah. He is just saying he wants his people and his resources to learn more about how this works. Because it is still new. Like, you know, you're not going to just jump in and look silly. Because at the end of the day, he can't afford to do that. But he is understanding that digital currency is the thing.
Yeah, he just wants to figure out, like, what are the ramifications of us, like, you know, releasing a digital currency.
Which, once again, goes back to the point that we made last week. You have to start reading in between the lines, guys. Like, when things are moving digital, you have everything happening in front of your eyes. You have to start learning about it, and you have to start investing in that space because you don't want to miss out. We're not saying dump all your cash in. We're just saying be smart and have some, you know, allocation towards it. You should have exposure to different markets, in our opinions.
You can't always get into things so late. By the time you get all the justification you need to get into something, it's already too late. You can't profit off of it anymore. There's a point in life where you have to stop tiptoeing to death. You know what I'm saying? You got to actually take a risk at times.
Exactly.
And I would say with all this research, it's an intelligent risk.
Yeah. And once again, you know, you don't want to just listen to us just because we're talking. Like, we're not your financial advisors. We are your, you know, financial tutors. So just do some research on your own. Yeah, that's all we're going to say. But how about right now? Because we can't end the show without talking about Russia. Because at the end of the day, we've said this before as well, current news in U.S. is important, but current news around the world is very, very important.
Of course.
So what's happening in Russia, bro? What's going on?
Bro, Russia right now, at this point, we're just, what's his name? Putin. Vladimir Putin, yeah.
Yeah, you can't be forgetting his name because he's going to go crazy on us.
Nah, he is going to go crazy.
Now the whole channel's about to get shut off. It's over. Putin about to drop some. Actually, let me stop.
For real.
Yeah, let me stop.
Nah, but he's moving like closer and closer to Ukraine. And so at this point, it's like, yo, he was not bluffing.
No, and a lot of people thought he was, right?
Yeah.
But he actually wasn't.
He was not bluffing. And so it's like now Joe Biden and other leaders like in Europe are trying to tell him, listen, please, Putin, don't do what you're trying to do. But they had to
just relax.
Just relax, yeah, man. But they had to place sanctions. You know, I know Biden released some sanctions that are like, I would say lightweight punishments. Yeah,
because at the end of the day, right now, you're absolutely correct. It was light in the sense that they want to kind of, I'm not going to say just scare him, but like throw fillers out there to see what's up, right? Like, you know, when you play basketball and stuff like that, I know you were trash, but like when you play basketball, like it's like, yo, you get,
I'm gonna holla at y'all.
You get a little foul, you get a little tech, but I'm not going to eject him out the game yet. You know, that's basically what it is. But Joe Biden, the president of the United States, and the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson actually said that they will be putting heavier sanctions on Russia if this continues, and saying the US dollar and the British pounds are no longer going to be involved with Russia, which will obviously hit Russia very, very hard. Yeah. Now, that would scare Putin. However, Putin is a very smart man at the end of the day, right? He really has been plotting, because he comes back and says, yo, very respectfully, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, Russia has been preparing for this. So you guys think we're joking when we say this, but the research is showing that Russia has actually started to decrease the fat that they have around them. All the expenses, they've been trimming. So they've been getting ready for this, because the economy is like, we got to stop, you know, setting ourselves up. We gotta
Yeah.
reduce our expenses a little bit.
Exactly, man. They're trying to become more self-sufficient. They've been growing their own goods and stuff. I know they released Parmesan cheese.
Yeah, they have their own Parmesan cheese that they actually produce, which is huge because they're like, yo, all the pasta that we're gonna be making and eating, it's ours now. We don't care about the West no more.
Yeah, they're trying to cut off the U.S. Like they've already been trying to move away from having U.S. reserves because they've been working with China a lot, honestly. So Russia is just trying to get away from the U.S. So the U.S. threat that we like to put, they're like, yo, listen, we might not even need y'all anymore. So that's why they're moving so militant, no pun intended.
And even the gas, right? Because 40% of the European gas is controlled by Russia, correct?
Yeah.
So when you think about it, if something happens and Russia says, yo, we're controlling this percentage, which is a large percentage, that impacts the actual European markets, but then a boomerang basically comes back at the U.S. because it says, oh, snap, 40% is a lot, so it's going to hurt us too.
Yeah, gas prices about to skyrocket off of that.
Which is crazy because now the sanctions are not as powerful. So we're going to stay, up to date with this right now because we did say last week, I'm on record saying this, that if something happens with Russia, it could cause a crash or, some type of stock market hit, which since the time of that recording, look what's happening.
I know y'all seen the markets lately. It's been tough. So it looks like, oh my gosh, it looks like we were right again.
I would say we were pretty accurate on that one.
Yeah, we've been accurate on a lot so far. I'm just saying, I don't know, maybe I should subscribe.
Oh yeah, and like and comment. And I think hit that notification bell, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Word.
But that about wraps up this video for you guys. So we gave you guys some cool facts on Metaverse and why you guys should look into it. Obviously, we dove into real estate being expensive. Miami is taking over the actual country now in terms of prices. And then we talked about President Biden. We talked about Russia. We gave you guys a lot of information, right? But we're not done yet because we want to let you guys know what's happening in terms of earnings. Yeah. So our favorite company,
Block, Square, in other words.
Exactly, is coming out with earnings this week. On top of that, we have Coinbase and Moderna. I believe Home Depot already reported earnings at the time of this recording, right?
Yeah, so did Lowe's, right? And eBay and Hertz.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool to just keep in touch, I'd say, with what's actually happening. But we also just want to point this out right now. So just keep intact with what we're saying, right? Because we mentioned the inflation news, and that went up. We talked about interest rates. That most likely is going to be announced in the next couple of weeks. So just be careful what's going on because it does have an impact. And so far, what we've been saying has been happening.
Right. We've been right about virtual currency. We've been right about the inflation. We called all of these on this show. I'm just pointing out so people know we're legitimate.
Exactly.
We've been right about real estate continuing to go up.
Exactly.
CBDCs, like we've been calling this out. We mentioned CBDCs before Biden even announced that he's going to talk about CBDCs.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just saying. Subscribe.
No, for sure. But if you're still watching, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys a lot, for real. But we will catch you on Monday, so definitely stay tuned for that. But until then, peace.
Peace.